Welcome back to Weightlifting Coaches React. We're doing the 2016 85 Kilo Olympics, and if you're watching this and hearing our dulcet tones, it means we didn't get caught with a copyright strike, and we are here playing this session. Now, originally, the Olympic stuff was aggressively copyrighted at the time. Same with Tokyo, shot down. But if you're watching this, it means we got away with it. And obviously, this is one of the greatest classes in the last 24 years or so. So it really is worth taking the risk for you guys. This is for you.
This is for ye.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, myself and Owen have dodged a rather large bullet. We've played around with the idea of doing this class for a long time now. This has been held by both of us as the best possible class to do a reaction to. Mm-hmm. We've got superstars. We've got young lads on the way up. We've got current superstars hitting their best ever numbers. We've got some friends of ours in there.
It's brought to you by the Sika Strength Weightlifting Camp and S&C Camp in Portugal in Praia de Luz in May. Details are on the screen and in the description below. And also, of course, brought to you by the Sika Strength app on iOS and Android. 85 kilos. So we're here with Petr Asanoyak from Belarus when they're allowed to compete under Belarus. This is probably one of his best competitions. This is 165, his first attempt. Petr, I'm going to call him Peter from now on if that's okay. Superb technician.
Yeah.
Everyone came in super hot for this Olympics.
I feel like this is the kind of last of the great Olympics.
See, everyone should have been more cautious because the retests were happening, was it kind of a couple of months, about 6 months before this, and we were getting those slate of retests, and I wonder, did everyone not care? Like, what was going on, was like,
See, it's obviously out of the athlete's hand.
Yeah.
The athletes aren't the ones worried about it or caring about it. And I wonder, is it just that the coaching staff and the official staff in those countries aren't quite caught up at this point? It's not that nobody's paying attention.
I would have been very concerned.
Yeah. It's definitely a thing where you probably have some people holding on being like, it's grand, it's worked for the last 20 years. It's going to keep working.
I think in some senses, sometimes some people give international coaches in all Olympic sports way too much credit. Then sometimes obviously it's the opposite where they don't give them enough credit. We'll have people saying like, oh, that's so stupid, why did they do that, when it's not necessarily clear what could have really happened. So it kind of swings and roundabouts in some ways, like some people just are incredibly disparaging of anything that happens, and then sometimes people are just like, it doesn't matter what the elite athletes do, it's like, yep, that's work, that must be correct.
I've spoken to a few Olympic coaches, and I remember one of the Dutch coaches at one point saying a lot of the time you misassign their kind of talent with someone having a good athlete from a young age and that athlete doing very well, and then more people going to that coach and that coach getting better athletes. And it's kind of like this snowballing thing where you gain more and more momentum, and then you have better athletes, and then you have more athletes to test things on.
Yes.
And it makes perfect sense. You become a better coach because of that. But it's interesting.
There's a video I'm slowly writing in my brain about the slowly decreasing absolute results in weightlifting across the weight classes. And last year is like a really big anomaly, but especially since 2016, we've seen a bit of a deteriation. And I know, again, we've seen big lifts from last year, like that 220 in 2021. We had, obviously 225, and that was 2021, I think. And other than that, though, like if we go back to the 2014 Worlds like this, that was like uber competitive, this kind of generation. Loads of the classes are competitive. Now we're slowly seeing a deterioration, and I know people's immediate thought process is like drugs, but it isn't the whole answer. So like that's definitely not the entire piece of the pie. It's definitely some way related, but if we have people setting all-time world records, and if one country can do that, and then again, look, Georgia isn't a political powerhouse.
Yeah.
They're not Russia making big time money moves. So there's more to the conversation than that. One of the things Gabriel said on screen right now, Gabriel said that he thinks weightlifters don't train as hard across the board. Now, Gabriel is someone who's put up all-time records in training. So he did, at 87 kilos, he snatched 190 and clean and jerk 225. As in, like, he's really up there with incredible weightlifting, and obviously did incredibly well here. And he thinks that to a certain part, and it might upset some people to hear someone say that, like it might get a bit defensive, but he thinks like across the board, there was a lot more competitive training environments before.
You see that in other sports as well. When you look at the marathon runners and stuff coming from a few countries in Africa, those marathon runners now, like Kipchoge and stuff, when they're asked about their children, like their children have the exact same or very similar genetic makeup to them in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just saying their kids just won't be as good. They won't have the same drive.
Was it Kipchoge said that? Well, Kipchoge just said that. Like he ran to school and his kids were being collected in a Land Rover or a Range Rover from school. So it's
so different.
Yeah, it's not as easy for them to do that.
Particularly when you look at the countries that are powerhouses, like the Eastern European countries, the former USSR blocks.
Mm-hmm.
The culture in those countries has changed a lot.
Because if you look at China, clearly a political powerhouse, it's obviously taking PDs. Like it's pointless to have a conversation if you're going to not assume some things that are more almost certainly true. And by and large, they've not only had 2 or 3, but none of their lifters have set any outrageous records. Liu Zhajun was very, very good, but relative to the body weight, he didn't do anything compared to maybe the 80s and 90s. Like he's in that bracket where he snatched 100 kilos over body weight with 177 in 2013. Lao Hui, I can't remember how to say his name properly, would have been very close to a 500 Sinclair if he'd pushed a bit more, and he probably was capable of that. Xi Jiang could have put up some big lifts, but outside of that, if they have and still have an absolute metric ton of lifters, like we know they have, like currently, like they've huge provinces of lifters, as Dr. Steph told us that, and they're not setting insane world records, like all-time stuff. Like we have, like Blagoyev snatched 195.5 at 90 kilos body weight. You have a host of Bulgarian lifts. You've stuff like Varbanov did 225 at like 75 kilo body weight, 222 and a half in training. So there's something else going on, and it's not quite clear. And I think the trajectory is bad for weightlifting, because weightlifting's been more popular than it's ever been in a recreational sense. There's more people invested in the snatch and clean and jerk than ever, and it's outside the vacuum of CrossFit. It's gone beyond that now. It's just a popular sport, a niche popular sport, but still popular with recreational people. And the across the board lowering of results is interesting.
I think when you look at it, like in terms of sport, generally speaking, on a country by country basis, more people playing sport means a higher level being involved in that sport. Like if you've got a country who never played rugby, like the US, their standard of rugby is pretty low. Then you get more teams, more people playing, more foreigners coming in playing, the standard increases. In weightlifting, there are more people now doing a snatch and clean and jerk on a daily basis than have ever been in the history of it. And the quality keeps going down.
Yes, yeah.
It
is, and like maybe some of it is related to drugs in terms of some countries can't do it as much, but it's a bit more complex than that. Anyway, we're into the 170s, so as 85s, if you're in the 170s, you're doing pretty great. So we've got Pavel here, and he's coming for 170, his second attempt.
This is peak male physique here as well in this class.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, they're pretty jacked. I know we've talked about, like, was it the 94s or 96s being the kind of ideal big and jacked and not out of shape. But these lads are all in great nick.
Yeah, they're all very good nick. Gabriel's in serious nick. Dick skin shredded. Got the Addy Power 1s. This is nearly 10 years ago, Darren.
Yeah, it's insane.
Nice.
I remember being so excited for this Olympics.
I remember this Olympics being pretty disappointing by and large.
Yeah.
This was the only good class. Lasha, we had that bit of the drama with the Iranians, but it was like, yeah. And then Muradi won the 96s, but nothing, wasn't really anything crazy going on. This was the best class, and thankfully it's one of the best classes in a long time, but London was it.
Just one thing to mention there, the absolute stare down that Gabriel gave.
I don't think Gabriel knew.
As he walked in, Gabriel was just standing there in front of him, eye contact. One thing that the Rio Olympics gave us, I think, is the vilifying of the Olympic Games like we'd never seen before.
Yes.
I remember there being a big thing in London that the kind of lower income areas of the city were getting purged, basically, and redeveloped around the Olympics. And
Rio, you mean?
No, in London.
Oh, in
that
London?
was happening as well, yeah.
Jesus.
Um,
171 here for Gapey Poodles.
but Rio, it really came to the fore.
Yeah, with the favelas. 171.
My God. That's a level of speed and power that just doesn't exist.
Gabriel wasn't really on my radar as much until this Olympic class, I'm not going to lie. I didn't really notice him. I knew him a little bit from the Europeans that year when he was lifting against Alexander, the Ukrainian in this class. But I didn't take a huge amount of notice until I was watching this. And then that clean and jerk, that 217.
Oh my God.
Holy moly.
I'm already excited.
Like watching the snatches, I was like, hang on,
Yeah.
who's this?
It's that power up at his hip is insane.
Yeah.
Like the power of that extension. That's when I'm coaching people and trying to get them to extend properly for the snatch, I can just picture Gabriel in my head.
But it's impossible to repeat.
Absolutely.
We got Tiantao here with the moulet, the little low fade moulet, low side moulet. Immaculate here on the Chinese lifters all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say a lot of the kind of Southeast Asian lifters all consistently have immaculate hair. Like density, hairline. And maybe it's something at odds with the more a culture drinks, the more your hair recedes and thins. Maybe like the higher tolerance for drinking goes, the more your hair falls out.
Yeah, maybe. Something to do with liver values.
I think in Irish male, like you're over half experienced male pattern baldness. What happened there? That looks so easy. He's such the power in his pull and transition is incredible. Like the acceleration is unbelievable. His ability to maintain positions, it's outrageous.
Geez, that looked like,
I think this is peak male butts as well, you know,
yeah, thickness, like all cheeked up.
but not too thick, like, you know.
Yeah.
They're not like wagons.
No, they're just nicely formed.
Peak athletic male butts, like what the heck?
You know,
what the heck are
I'm going to
doodles
say
there?
it now, Garth.
Go on, say it there.
Certain countries do the miss make, you know,
Yeah.
for a four, or miss make for a triple, or miss and then a make for a double.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in competition.
How very dare you suggest?
No, I'm going to
that-
say it
now.
now.
How dare you suggest that
We go
they might do anything wrong?
we go to a lot of different random weightlifting clubs, CrossFit gyms, places where people are lifting weights, and the amount of times I see that miss make. Oh, yeah, that was a great triple.
173. Oh,
Oh yeah,
so he's kind of gone off the radar. I don't know if he got an 8-year ban. I'm sure he got banned. We saw 180, 220 from him in training. It's worth trying to find that 220 clean and jerk from him in training. It's an 85. Beautiful, super power, very power from Alexander Pelashchenko. Yeah, great lifter. One of the many great 85s. But
am I right in saying he was the first lad with those blue and orange innovate?
can I just, whose hairband is that?
I
Sorry.
don't know.
Sorry for interrupting you. That's a token, like when Lancers, you know.
Surely it's his missus'.
A jousting token.
Yeah.
Token, you know. Go on,
Surely that's his girlfriend.
what are we saying?
But I'm sure he is the first lad on the scene with those blue and orange Innovate weightlifting shoes, if I recollectly.
Is he not wearing the Addy Powers there?
He's wearing the Addy
lifts.
Power Lifts,
Yeah.
which are the worst weightlifting shoe in the
No,
world.
no, that's not true. That's actually not true because
Don't you point that finger at me.
they are so cheap that they're actually a great shoe.
yeah.
Don't
They're
you point your hand
they're-
fingers at me.
They're so terrible
Yeah.
that they've become good
No, they're not. No, they're actually good value for money.
because you can get them for free.
You can get them for like 80 or 90 euro.
Oh,
Just a little too slow.
yeah.
I need to,
I actually had a pair of those and I added a heel to them.
the Addy Power Lifts.
Yeah,
They're like a 3/4 inch heel or something.
half-inch.
I'm going to order a pair of Lishtings after this, Lishtings.
Oh my god.
I found a place that sells Lishtings in Ireland, and I'm not going to tell any of you where they are.
Where are they?
And I'm going to use company money to buy them because I want them.
There's certain things that get ordered with company money, and that's supplements and weightlifting shoes.
170. The original Red Addy Lishtings.
Oh, no way.
Will I tell people now? I'll tell people because you're watching this, because it means you're probably... There's like Fight Store Dublin or something. They've
Do they
just...
still have them?
They have like a full sizing of them.
I feel like that's a non-updated stock. on the website.
No, but who's going to look for them there?
Yeah, it's a good point. I've actually ordered stuff from there before, and they were very fast delivering.
You used to have to get weightlifting shoes from Pullum Sports,
Yeah.
maybe Athlete EPS when the Nikes came along, and I got my original Adidas from a German weightlifter whose name is eluding me now. He lost a ring finger, but he still clean and jerked like 260 kilos in Seoul or Tokyo in 1988. What was his name?
Did you order them directly from him?
Yeah, he used Google Translate. A very broken conversation. But I got the Adi Power ones.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, that doesn't look good at all.
Oh, Pavel. Third attempt anyway, so.
I remember there was Adidas had an Adidas weightlifting site that was based in Germany. Do you remember that? You go to adidas.eu or whatever, and then they had a site, like a spin-off site with around 5 products
him.
on it. Was that him?
That was him, yeah.
Oh, I ordered my white Adi Powers from him.
That was probably him, yeah. What
Yeah.
is his name? If anyone knows his name, it's actually really annoying me that it's eluding me now. But he was a German weightlifter. Missed a finger, lost a finger.
It's very strange because you'd click off the Adidas site, which was obviously extremely professional, onto what looked like a WordPress site.
A lot of people are asking recently, and it kind of comes up pretty regularly, for why don't Nike reproduce the ROM 2s? Let's watch Gabe 173
Come on,
first, and
Gabe.
we'll talk about it. Best hair queef in the game, you might say.
Yeah,
Gabe likes to keep himself well kept.
absolutely. Yeah, very handsome.
Yeah, he thinks about his clothes, dresses, loves coffee. Big 173. Let's go.
Oh,
That should have been an opener.
That's sick.
Anyway, they were like, why don't they reproduce the ROM 2s? So, first of all, they couldn't give a fuck, is the main reason. I just couldn't imagine they really care.
No.
I just don't think they're just going to sell a certain number of shoes anyway. They don't really care about weightlifting realistically. And then it'll also be admitting that maybe the 3s and 4s weren't a good development. So if they reproduce ROM 2s, it's like, oh, what do you mean? It's like you can do vintage shoes, but they've got to be like 20 or 30 years later when everyone's moved on a lot. But ROM 4s are only out a couple of years ago. So if you reproduce the ROM 2s now, even though they might sell a lot of them, it's kind of an admission that, oh yeah, the ROM 3s and 4s weren't a better shoe than the ROM 2s. So you've got a lot of hands in the pie as well who are like, no, they were good developments, and if you were to go back to ROM 2s, you're admitting that you did your job poorly. So it's never going to happen. They're never going to reproduce ROM 2s from Nike anyway.
The other thing is with that is like manufacturing techniques have moved on. Everything about the shoes.
Oh. Wait, Rostami won this class, didn't he?
Yeah.
I forgot that.
But so manufacturing it would have changed so much, and every change they make just makes the shoe cheaper to make, like way more efficient to ship, like all these things. Making the shoe slightly lighter, like 100 grams lighter on a pair of shoes, is a massive saving for Nike. So they're not going to go back to old ways of making shoes that cost them more to ship, cost them more to package.
That is a long flight from Iran for supporters.
Geez, that imbalance in the shoulders is even there.
Not too much there.
You can still see it though. You can see it hinting that it will be.
He always kind of had it. Dennis Olenoff has that imbalance in his shoulders, but I don't know did he dislocate that elbow? I think it's kind of ringing a bell. He might have dislocated that elbow. The delts in him. He was part of Team PPC Astana.
Was he?
Yeah, Team Astana.
Glory days.
Glory days.
Woo.
They were quickly eradicated.
Geez, they were the A team out there on their own.
Imagine me on a 50 count.
Yeah.
I'm WADA.
Yeah.
PPC Astana's in front of me.
I feel like WADA's more an Apache attack helicopter, you know?
Oh, with the little... Have I got the eye patch on where the gun goes with my eye?
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, just absolutely eradicating.
And the lads are just there being like, no, get away.
Yeah.
Running into their caves.
Yeah. They got him.
Sad.
What a political assassination. We heard tell of rumours of why Ilya eventually got caught, but best not say.
I don't think a public YouTube video is the place for those rumours, Owen.
No. We hear lots of rumours. I feel like some of them could get us killed. Maybe one of them. I think two might get us
Two
murdered.
of them, yeah.
I think two might get us murdered.
There's two dodgy ones there. You know, the strangest thing about this Olympic weightlifting setup is that there's no Alico branding, or there's no branding at all on the plates.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's because the IOC just... Other
Yeah.
brands. You used to have to put like patches on if you had your knee sleeves. Oh, there's patches on his knee sleeves. Look, the tape. You can't even have. They did allow a certain diameter or certain area under where you didn't have to cut it or cover it, but that was obviously outside it, but it was a tiny area. Just by the way, those rumors aren't related to weightlifting, because obviously no one cares about doping and weightlifting. Nobody cares. Did he make that? 175. Bam. Yeah, you're dead right. There's none on the plates, but there is in London. And
I think the end cap of the barbell might have a Lico on it, but I don't think anything else. London had it.
Tokyo definitely had it.
Tokyo had it.
How strange. Oh, there we go.
Geez, that left elbow is noticeable, isn't it?
I'm sure. Hey, Lilia. Hey! Top knot Ilya.
There go.
Was that the cover?
He does point to it.
Was that the cover?
Oh my God.
I'm sure he dislocated an elbow.
Yeah. We were during London. I was decorating my sister's bathroom had been flooded. I was scraping the walls off and redoing the walls and redoing the floor, right? Mm-hmm. So I'd convinced one of the lads to come up and help me with it. But it just so happened that the weightlifting was on the TV at the same time. I think it might have been the 96s.
Were you weightlifting?
Yeah. And then I was trying to get one of the lads to like weightlifting. So I started him getting him to watch it, and somebody had a full on compound fracture in their elbow, and they just ran across with the sign, you know.
Oh, that was Andrei Karapatati from Armenia.
They just ran across with the sign in front of him, and Smitty was like, "No, I'm actually never doing."
Oh no, sorry, not in London. Sorry, no, it wasn't.
I can't remember who it was.
178. Oh. No, it must Andranik did this in the Rio in the 77s. That's actually the worst I've ever seen, where he's screaming.
I think it might have been one of the females.
Oh no.
Tyann or Tian.
Say Tyann one more time. Go on.
Tyann.
Say it. Go on.
So Tyann loves missing snatches, doesn't he?
I don't think he likes it.
No, but he does it all the time.
I don't think it's something he enjoys. I think it's a negative adaptation. I think it's a maladaptive process to competition.
Yeah.
I think he'd like to change it if he could.
I think he'd like some performance psychology.
Anton really wants me to do more of that head back. Not in the extension, but in the pull. Because
for your start position?
Yeah, for my upper back. Because obviously I don't have a huge amount of thoracic extension. I don't have the thoracic extension of a 50-kilo girl. Surprisingly enough.
You had great thoracic extension until...
I hit obesity.
No, until 3 years ago when we started doing jiu-jitsu and you turned into a gorilla. It happened overnight. It just went from like this to like this.
No, I can get it back. Probably. If I make an effort. Yeah, who's clean jerk? Oh, Benjamin. The B session. No more B sessions at Olympics, I don't think. Crazy times we're living in. Peak Tian physique. Tyann.
I'm going to say something now, Gareth, right?
Don't bother.
For weightlifting as an Olympic sport.
Leave it off.
No, weightlifting as an Olympic sport.
Don't say what you're going to say.
You need at least half of the weight classes that are there now. That's
what they're doing, though, basically.
I know, but way less, even more. I think 3 male and 3 female. Small lads, normal size lads, and massive lads.
For the popularity of the sport?
100%. To make it better, make it a better competition. Because you've got people who are Olympic gold medalists who are completely different to the same Olympic medalists from the same competition. I get it, you have it in boxing and you have it in judo and sports like that, but those sports don't have the same problems that weightlifting does. And I think it's better for the sport if you have a...
Get up.
Nice.
No, I don't agree with you.
You don't?
No.
I think it's too wishy-washy. I think a 75 kilo class, a 100 kilo class, and a super heavy. And that's it.
Well, at the
Imagine
moment,
how amazing that would be.
It's like, is it 61, 73, 89, 102 super?
Yeah.
Is there one below 61? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Whatever they do, then fuck it up anyway. That was unbelievable. The lower back mass on him is outrageous.
Yeah, it's insane. You know who has lower back mass like that? Clarence Kennedy.
He sure do. He has a back ass.
My God, he has the bussy.
Rostami out 179, second attempt. Possibly the best hair and beard combo in weightlifting.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly a contender for top 3.
Particularly, sometimes he leans into the moustache and kind of keeps the beard, but really emphasizes the moustache.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy. Yeah, that imbalance is there, but it doesn't look wrong. The funny thing is, fixing that imbalance actually could be relatively easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it mightn't be a huge amount of work.
Yeah.
Now, the prep for the Olympics obviously isn't that time, but the longer they go on, the worse it is.
Yeah, I feel like when you're at Olympic level, is it already too late?
179. I completely forgot Rostami won this. He won on bodyweight, I think, in terms of the total.
Or was it?
I think so.
Another rule I don't like.
Do you know how many people... Well, that's gone now, isn't it? It's the first to lift it. I think the rule now is like it's the first to lift it gets it.
Okay.
Which I think is fair.
I'd love a lift off at the end.
Because the first to lift it means you have to go more if you want to win. So it's like forcing you to...
That's a good point, actually, to be a bit more aggressive with your attempts.
It's so hard to go to the Olympics and perform incredibly well.
Yeah, it really is.
Weightlifting is so interesting. Lots of different sports have really tough competitions. Weightlifting's competition is arguably one of the easier competitions because it's simply just a displaying of your capability based on how well your training block went. Like, the training for weightlifting is so much harder than the competition day. And mostly it's psychological for most people. And if your training block went well, it's entirely on you if you fuck it up for your comp. And just showing up in the day, like trying to finesse it at the Olympics and be fresh and carry it over, and the training week, and so many different things. It's so interesting. It's not like the physical aspect isn't the most, whereas if you go play rugby, training's really hard, the rugby session's really hard. You're doing marathon training, the training is brutal, the marathon is brutal.
The marathon's arguably the worst day you have.
I'd almost say weightlifting competitions are the least physically demanding.
I think psychologically, though, the 3 attempts and you could be done.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You've no respite.
No.
You're on it for a whole thing.
It's funny, people talk about golf and they're like, oh, you have to keep that mental fortitude for the whole, like, 70 shots or whatever you're taking around,
Yeah.
But the boys have 3 attempts. And if they miss the first 3 attempts, they're done.
Especially the Olympics, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the mental demand of weightlifting, I'd say, is possibly one of the highest in some regards, but the actual physical demand, the competition day it's the lowest volume day you'll do of your whole training block for the Olympics.
If you take someone like Gabriel, he's done 3 of these per day, multiple days a week for 4 years leading up to this.
15 sets of 2 at 170.
Yeah.
That video is so funny because we're all like, what? Oh, 182. So, like, what other sports have such a discrepancy between competition day and training? Most sports have hard training and hard competition day, but like in rugby, if you're in the World Cup, for example, just rugby's on my mind at the moment, and just the first thing that comes to it. As a team sport, you have your bits to do, but for 80 minutes, you're not fully switched on for 80 minutes, You're not active. Like, you're obviously paying attention, you're doing your bits, but there's a bit of respite, you have the team environment. Marathon, when you get into the flow, it's incredibly physically tough.
Yeah, I think for most team sports or most kind of skill-based sports, you have multiple resets.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a break and play, you have going from attacking to defending, you have set pieces that are going to break up the game. There's none of those really hyper-specific, refined moments. Like,
I bet something like tennis or badminton or ping pong is actually probably really mentally demanding.
Yeah.
Because it's so high twitch. Jesus Christ. There's a tiger mat with an AK-47 trying to get to the
Particularly in
window.
something like tennis where the games go on for hours.
Yeah.
It's lunacy.
And like badminton, you're trying to be super precise. Especially even if you're playing singles by yourself in any of those high twitch sports.
Yeah.
I bet the training actually probably isn't that tough for those. Not crazy tough. Maybe like table tennis or something, or ping pong or whatever you want to call it. But I bet competition day then is outrageously intense.
Yeah.
And they do lots of games and stuff. Actually, sprinting's probably similar to weightlifting as well.
Yeah.
You
have a massive amount of training volume and then it all goes away.
But actually, sprinters they get a bit of flack from other track and field athletes.
They do.
Because they say they don't do much training.
I go so far as to say they get a lot of flack.
But you can do a lot of training for sprinting. What are you going to do? 2 track sessions,
but
some gym stuff.
If you're a 400 athlete.
On to the clean and jerks. Gabriel Synchrian, What were you saying about the 400 athletes?
So saying if you're a 400 athlete and you're all carded athletes and you're all training in the same place and you have arguably the worst job in the world, like it's sprint work capacity stuff, lactate threshold training, and then the sprinters get to show up, sit down for a few minutes, do a few sprints and go home.
But it's not their fault. You can't do too much training. You'll just get slower.
I know.
204 for Gabe.
Oh, that clean.
So Gabe said he wanted opener heavier than this.
Oh my God.
But coaches wouldn't let him. Weightlifting training, not the circle jerk, not the glaze up weightlifting, but weightlifting training is uniquely hard. It's such a mind fuck when it comes to...
That's so depressing.
It really is so hard. Like, weightlifting training compared to other sports is very difficult. Like, even if you're supremely genetically talented at weightlifting, training is as hard for you as someone who's not talented. Like, you can come in for those days, and for you, a 100 kilo snatch might be really heavy that day, but for the genetically talented lifter, the 150 kilo snatch is going to be really heavy that day. Whereas, like, if you're incredibly talented at, let's say, sprinting again, sprinting is going to be pretty easy for you because the external load isn't changing, your distance is fixed, and you just run faster in some regards. Now, I'm not saying sprinting training is easy by any means, but something about weightlifting training is pretty intense.
It's the unpredictable nature of it as well. Like, you're constantly beat up.
Yeah.
It's so technically demanding.
Yes.
Like other sports where you're constantly beat up, like marathon running or powerlifting, you're constantly sore and tired, but you can do the training.
Clark at the Olympics on a second attempt.
Oh, he's not happy. The big question, Garth, if you Clark at the Olympics, are you getting the 5 rings tattoo?
No, if you make a total, you can get the rings tattoo. I think if you bomb at the Olympics, I don't think you're allowed to get tattoo.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Like, if I got to the Olympics and I bombed, I don't think I'd get tattoo, because the next question is, how'd you get on? And you're like, yeah. Because obviously getting to the Olympics now more than ever is a massive feat
100%.
for weightlifters in particular. I'm not sure about other sports currently. Actually, it's for all sports, really.
If you're a track and field athlete and you don't make it out of the first heat, I still think it's perfectly acceptable for you to get the tattoo.
Something about bombing and weightlifting and getting tattoo, though, is...
I think bombing is your coach's fault, though.
No, it's your fault. Partial responsibility. But something about weightlifting of all sports.
It's the one man on the platform or woman on the platform on their own.
If you bomb,
just doing that,
I don't think you can get the tattoo.
There's no hiding.
For everyone else, yeah, if you don't get out of the first round or the first heat, it's okay. I think you can still get tattoo because you're like, you got to the Olympics.
Yeah.
And it's not even fair for weightlifters. Like, you got to the Olympics
They've
too.
done all the work.
You've done all the work, but if you bomb...
Arguably, they've done more work than a lot of sports to get there.
I suppose in terms of personal explanations and embarrassment, you would just prefer not to have it, because people are like, were you at the Olympics? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, weightlifting? Yeah. How did you do? And you're like, I didn't even make a result. And then it's just so awkward, So you're better off... Personally, if I bombed at the Olympics, I wouldn't get it.
Because it would be like, oh, were you like 5th? I'm like, no, I didn't do well. Oh, did you like come last? Technically, I didn't come anywhere.
Didn't come anywhere.
It's a DNF.
I'd almost go as far as to say is that unless you put up a good personal result, I'd be slow to even get that tattoo. So, like, if you were...
no, I think...
It's just me now. I'm not calling out anyone. I'd say, like, I'm literally not thinking of anyone here. But if you come up and you did, like, 2 to 3 lifts out of 6, and you lift below what you did to qualify, if you pass the threshold of what you qualified as, I think you can be happy and getting a tattoo. Like, that would be personally. But like, yeah, I improved my results. Weightlifting's tough.
No, I think you're being... That's a bit harsh.
I'm harsh on myself here. I'm not calling anyone else out.
You're like, you think you treat other people terribly, but you treat yourself probably worse than anyone.
True.
Except me.
It's true. You deserve it, though. Clark on third attempt. Like, now here, you've Clark 2 clean jerks. Are you getting an Olympic tattoo?
I still think you are. He's made a total.
Are you getting an Olympic tattoo, Dara?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
I don't think that's right. Let me know in the comments. I'm not judging anyone. Obviously, you can get whatever tattoo you want. You can get an Olympic tattoo and not go to the Olympics.
No, you can't.
There's weightlifters with an Olympic tattoo who haven't gone to the Olympics.
There's not.
There is.
There isn't.
I'm not saying who, but there is.
There is not.
There is a very good weightlifter, and they're definitely going to the Olympics, and they'll probably medal at the Olympics, but that's still, you never know. That's kind of like an inspiration thing, though, isn't it? Not like
Well, yeah, if you know where you're going.
How do you feel as a sports psychologist there, as a doctor of sports psychology, a clinician?
So I really like people being overt with their goals.
Do you?
Really like it.
Oh,
Most of the academic literature would say that it's a beneficial adaptation as well, you know, where like you write it on your belt or you write it on your shoes or you write it in your training journal and you see it and it's that positive affirmation every day. The tattoo for me is a bit of a step beyond that, though.
well, obviously, if you get tattoos, you're a criminal. 207 for Petter. He's clean as unbelievable.
Yeah.
And his jerk normally is, but on this particular day when it came to it, he didn't quite make the one he needed.
The standout thing for his clean for me is how smooth it is off the floor. It's not crazy powerful, particularly the first pull is very slow, but he makes it work because the positions are perfect.
Is that custom auto behind him? Mike Tyson's coach. It looks like him. The standout thing for me, if you will, on his clean is the turnover. So holding the hook grip here is a perfect timing. That's so secure.
Yeah.
People are always like, when it comes to front rack mobility, they're always like, oh, my wrists aren't flexible. And it's like, your wrists have nothing to do with it. It's your forearm external rotation or your supination of your hands or pronation of your hands, whichever's limited. Lats, external rotation of the shoulders, your biceps, suppleness, thoracic. Yeah. Skinny bitch Miso.
He looks tiny, doesn't he?
Oh, wait, we missed Miso's first 2 attempts.
Yeah.
Sorry, lads. 203. Sorry, 208 on his third attempt.
Speaking of a mighty clean.
My numbers, dyscalculia kicked in there. I don't have dyscalculia, I'm sorry if anyone does. Missed it. Damn. You ruined that for him.
I know.
You retroactively messed that up for him.
What a nice guy.
What a nice team.
Yeah, just great people. Really, really nice. He seems like in the interviews and on camera and stuff, he seems like really nice guy.
And he is.
Like really, yeah. Like you can come across on videos that you're not a bad person, but everyone knows you're a terrible person.
But it's actually not true.
Miso is a very nice person.
Do you know what's most notable about Qatar in my brain?
Go on.
How nice the food was.
Yes.
Food was very nice. Except for the beef bacon in Applebee's.
Very strange.
That was very concerning.
We did have probably one of the best kebabs I've ever had in my entire life between the morning session and the afternoon session with his father one day.
Oh yeah, where we learned state secrets.
In like a takeaway restaurant. Nobody else in there. You could smoke inside.
I don't know if that was kebabs. I think there's a name for them. I've got 2 600-gram carb days coming up tomorrow and Sunday at the time of recording, and
Stop showing off.
I am titillated.
You eating food during the day just makes me sick.
Here's Tyann. Chian. 210. Opa.
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 Oh.
Come on. This is why I didn't send you to Tokyo? This is exactly why. This is why I didn't send you, Tian.
This way you won't be going to the Eiffel Tower and taking one of those pictures.
Well, I actually don't think that's his fault. I think it's how class Nino and Carlos are. Actually, no, that could be his fault. Then you could say if he did better.
I think he has all the talent and all the potential that he could be dominating there.
I'd arguably say he's a better lifter than them.
Yeah.
I would say if he could get his consistency together for whatever reason, I actually do think it's part to do with their training, the training philosophy and style that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it is because there's him in an interview after he bombed out in 2017, I think, or 2015. He said, until the weights get heavier, he doesn't take them seriously enough.
Yeah.
Which isn't right. That's
the training philosophy that runs directly in the face of that or opposes that is what Gabriel was doing in Romania.
Yeah.
Talks about hitting numbers, his best ever numbers, and he's like 19 or 20, and then just becoming more consistent with those numbers over the course of the next 10 years.
Yeah, his 2016 training block was very interesting.
So good.
All about consistency. It wasn't about pushing the numbers. Alexander for 210. Holy moly,
Very
there's a clean.
power.
Here's a very power jerk as well.
Oh.
Attempt 1.
Ooh.
Going for broke. It's such a common misconception to think the heavier you open, the more chances you're getting heavier weights. But you're actually reducing your chances because momentum in weightlifting is very important in exercise selection and exercise attempts. And if you want to hit 215, you might be like, I'm just going to open at 215 and give myself loads of attempts.
No.
But you're actually going to give yourself more of a chance. if you go 205, 210, 215, because you're building momentum, you're not mudding the waters with misses.
The other thing is the accumulated fatigue of how heavy it is to miss 215 twice.
Very good point there. You should coach weightlifting. I want to see the asshole camera. What's going on there? Danny, you okay? You okay, Danny? You been hit by... Okay, 210 for second attempt. I'm surprised it didn't go up on this attempt. When the Anta ones, the Pikachu shoes, Dara's favourite number one shoe.
My personal number one favourite shoe.
Number one favourite shoe of all time.
Come on.
Could do a set of 5 in the clean with that, I bet.
Yeah.
This is why they didn't send you to Tokyo, Mr. Tao.
Speaking of Pikachu shoes, do you know how I got those Pikachu shoes?
A midnight raid on China.
So Nat sent them to a random hotel in, I don't know, is it in Atlanta, Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
Where my father was going to be working in a few weeks' time, and the hotel held on to them. Then he ended up having to go to a different hotel, and that hotel, somebody drove them over to the new one.
No way.
Yeah.
You got to hand it Hook Rip's service and quality goods, top notch.
Probably the best.
Probably incredible.
Yeah.
They'll bend over backwards. Sometimes it takes a while to get to Europe lately, but I don't think that's their fault.
No.
Everything takes so long to get everywhere now.
Yeah.
Delivery has gone crazy since
It makes no sense.
since the
But I think that just gave people an excuse. There's no reason that should still be influencing distribution. Like,
yeah.
come on now.
My Hook Rip belt's amazing.
I feel like Nat does a phenomenal job as well of not releasing products that aren't perfect.
Yes, he does. He does a great job. T-shirts last for ages.
Yeah.
210, second attempt. Mr. First attempt. Oh. He'd get red lighted for that in Tokyo now, for sure.
Which is absolute bullshit because that's a phenomenal clean and jerk.
Well, obviously, we had one of the biggest bullshit clean jerks ever from Nijat Ramoff in the 77 kilo class with that 214, which was not under control. It was a repeat, not under control. Did it go overhead? Yeah. Was it in control? No.
I am so glad that got 3 white lights.
That's 3 white lights.
It's the referees of weightlifting are the people who are ruining the sport. It's not due to the fact that there was massive large-scale corruption happening for 40 years.
No, what should happen is if the ref can't clean jerk 210, you can't red light someone.
Sorry, lads, no referees again here today in Ireland.
Is he trying to cover the white stripes?
No. Sure,
it must be. It must be. But didn't someone...
No, because you're allowed to have the brand showing.
We just went over that an hour ago.
I thought that they weren't allowed to have individual sponsors showing.
Yeah, or
so
brands.
Like, is it brands?
Yeah, but how would you know who's sponsors and who's a brand, you know?
Hardly covering the white stripes.
It must be. But
sorry, he's illegal blocked.
Didn't someone try and sue Adidas? Or Adidas tried to sue someone, but apparently, I don't know where the ruling was, but they're like, you can't brand 2 white stripes, like, or something, or 3 white stripes.
Wasn't that lawsuit then said that they had 4 blank spaces instead of 3 white stripes?
That's some legalese for you.
Yeah.
Gaby Poodles out for 212. Second attempt.
Come on now. We're going to see some very power here.
I don't know what's going through Gabe's head right now. Gabriel. What a powerful name.
Actually, I have a report that Gabriel did for me during my master's on what's going through his head during that lift. I should really pull that up. Unbelievable.
You should pull that up. Unbelievable is right.
I have that in a slideshow.
Was there ever a better
I'm not gonna
series?
pull it up now, but I do have that in a slideshow.
Of clean and jerks? Maybe Ilia's in 94 in London. 223, 228, 233. I've watched that video so many times. You cannot fathom. People doing, if you've only got into weightlifting in the last like 5 or 6 years, you just can't fathom the amount of training footage that's available to you and how much of a drought there was 12 years ago.
Also, how exciting when certain pieces of training footage would come out.
That's very true. We did lose something.
It was like you'd go to the gym to train and people like, have you seen this? Like, seen what?
I went to the gym, or my shed. I saw Ilya in London, snatch 160. Adam Story, a New Zealand coach, put up on his YouTube. I saw him snatch 160. I was like, that's the coolest thing I've seen in a while. I'm going to go snatching. And I just snatched 100 kilos.
Yeah.
Didn't even have breakfast. Literally, it was 10 o'clock in the morning.
Straight up
and snatched 100 kilos first time. No straps. My Eddie Power ones. I'd have time to be a leaf. Okay, Alexander, come out. I feel like he's not going to make 212 based on that 210 attempt.
I feel like he's going to smash it.
I've forgotten everything that happened here except for
Gabe's 217.
Gabriel 217, because how could I forget? I actually would just post that every day if I did that 217.
100%.
Just every day. I actually make an Instagram page called My 217.
Yeah, just the daily 217.
Come on.
Come on now.
I feel like he's going to smash the clean. Oh, no. Okay.
Come on.
Wow, I ruined that for him.
Yeah, you've cursed a few people today.
No, you cursed
I
me
cursed
so.
one person.
Yeah, and who else have I cursed? No one. You witch doctor. Come on, hold it in. How'd you feel about displays of anger like that as a sports psychologist?
I'm bringing my opinions on this from when I played sport.
Yeah.
I didn't like it when I used to play. I hated it when the lads, because you'd give away penalties, you know.
But even after, if it's done, like a display of emotion, I think me personally, I think it displays poor mental fortitude.
Control.
Yeah, emotional control specifically. Yeah, that you're just like, oh,
I cried on the pitch after losing a final once.
that's disgusting.
Yeah.
I can't look at you the same now ever again.
Uh,
Dennis on and off coming out for 215 on his first attempt. The world record here is 220. Bullshit world record, kind of, if you ask me, to be honest, by Rastami at the Fajir Cup. But
at what cup?
The Fajir Cup. It's
Okay.
like the second Fajir Cup in Iran. Holy moly, first attempt. Holy shit.
Oh no. That elbow. Do
What?
you remember going to like the Cork Open and Nationals and stuff, and people point at their elbows and they'd literally catch the bar like this
Yeah.
and it would be grand? Do you remember that?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Doesn't happen anymore though.
You have to get a doctor to look at it, I think, now.
Okay.
I don't know if you had to do that before. I don't think you did.
I feel like there was a lot of just tap tap. Just the clean is phenomenal.
That clean is so easy.
Mm.
He's even off in the rack position. He's like
Yeah.
rotated. That's got to be the least sexy angle for weightlifting is top down.
Oh my god, yeah.
Maybe a snatch might look okay, but clean and jerks aren't going to look okay.
That belt has seen some things.
I'd say it's seen some angry throws.
Yeah.
First attempt as well for 215 for Rastami. What a statement from the boys. The lads. Okay. What was with the hip wiggle? Oh, drop it. Why would you waste energy?
You know,
No.
one thing I always feel.
Sorry, that's so annoying. Rastami, you know you did a jerk dip there.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
Sorry, go on,
Yeah.
continue.
One thing I always feel every time he catches it clean is that he catches it so deep into his neck. I feel like he's going to pass out every single time.
I think he feels like he's going to pass
Yeah.
every time. That's so annoying. Like, Rastami, you know you did a jerk dip there. Like,
I hate the coaches going and pointing as well.
well, I would defend the coaches in some ways. Because
Come on.
you've got to fight their corner.
But that behavior is learned, like.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. If that's not a jerk dip, I don't know what is. The clean is so easy, it's ridiculous. Wouldn't give him that one now, personally,
No.
if he finished.
Would you ever chin strap your beard?
No. That's, I think that's a religious thing.
It is, yeah.
I do a overlarge mustache.
You would.
With stubble, maybe.
I feel that would be a power move for you.
It'd be a power move.
Like a kind of 2-day stubble. Like a fairly heavy, thick stubble.
Maybe a 5-day stubble.
And then the big moustache.
Yeah. Maybe not a big mustache, but maybe like the, what do you call that?
Handlebars.
Yeah, maybe a handlebar. But this is a replay, is it?
No.
Oh, it's not. They just. Holy shit! That was some jerk.
Yeah.
That's 3 white lights right there.
That's the toner from Iger. all off to one side.
That is a reference last on.
And 90%.
I'm going to say 100% everyone watching this isn't going to get that reference. That was some jerk. Holy shit,
Yeah.
I forgot that was... There was zero elbow wiggle there.
No.
That's incredible. His physique is peak physique here as well.
Yeah.
He always kind of cleans like that, though. Everything after 160 looks like that for him.
That bar is 2 inches further to the right than it is to the left.
Do you know where it is, though? It's overhead.
Yeah.
Secured. Feathering that tricep. Quite a strange build, isn't he?
Yeah. Very strange.
Petr Asanoyak out for 215 on his third attempt.
I feel like
Third.
weightlifting has a massive range of morphology. Obviously, they're all short. And usually their arms are short. And there's a more ideal shape. Like Tan Tao is probably the most ideal shape.
Who?
Tian Tao? Is it T?
I actually don't.
knows?
I don't even know anymore.
He's probably the more ideal of the shapes, right? But there's some lads, massive long legs, short torsos, and they still make it work.
The problem is the best snatching build isn't actually the best clean and jerk build. Great clean. Oh. The problem with Wasty as well is that there's no fighting. Like you've made it or you don't make it.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no powerlifting. You can keep grinding,
Great,
go. Like with weightlifting, it's like if it's gone, it's like oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's all over. Dennis coming out for third attempts at 215, I assume.
For Dennis here, like,
Yeah.
massive fight. If he doesn't make this lift, I still think he's getting the 5 rings. Like,
He's done 225 in training.
okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, Dennis, not Jesus.
Hey, come on now. Yes.
I forgot he made this.
Oh my God.
That was a great jerk as well.
That was phenomenal. Yes. Imagine the relief.
I actually cannot.
I'm not the only person who says Tan.
No, she said Shan.
Oh.
So you are the only person. Third attempt. And funny, people make fun of us for saying like 3 and third. But what if we start making people the way other people talk, you know? Are we
Yeah.
allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Are we?
Actually, we've had to edit quite a few of those pieces out of the podcast in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, because you.
Geez, that back is insane. He looks like an old person with like a hunchback.
217 for his third attempt. Third.
Sounds wrong. Like
It's from Irish, though. It's from like
for a tree.
a heavy H, like. Trucka. Trolley. We don't say the th. It's the
No.
thur. Togue.
Oh my God.
Taman.
He's so shocked.
He is shocked.
He is shocked.
That was class.
Yeah.
That was unreal. See, he's even got the little... But why they've got the ant on the front? What was wrong with the ant on the back, I wonder? Did it just fall off?
Maybe you're allowed one.
Everybody gets one.
One.
Maybe, yeah, in a certain place.
Oh, he grabbed his bicep celebrating.
So he had obviously dislocated his elbow when he was like 17
Okay.
in competition. Oh, yeah, so good.
My God.
Are we sure these are Alico plates? I don't think they are. Are they?
I think they're. I could be wrong.
Alico are
It's
they?
happened once before.
They pay big money to get the Olympics.
Yeah.
Does look like Alico blue cap, isn't it?
Yeah.
but they're all blue for men and yellow for women.
I also don't know what else it will be.
Worksan.
Yeah, but I feel like you'd see Worksan.
I
don't
think that's
know.
a Lico cap. That looks like an Lico cap,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't like these Rio plates. London
No.
was number one.
Do you know what? With great plates. Houston 2015 World. They were cool plates.
Gabriel's plate isn't quite right on the right hand side. A little bit loose. Boom.
Oh,
What the
oh
what a
my
lift.
God. Oh my God.
I wonder what he would have made if he went all out, if he had to go for a fourth attempt.
That's my favourite lift in history.
I think it might be one of my favourite lifts.
Yeah.
Definitely is one of my favourite lifts.
Yeah.
Top 5 lifts, probably.
Oh my God.
Rostami came out for last attempt. Pressure's on for Rostami here. That's the thing with weightlifting as well, is that not a lot of sports have that back and forth.
No.
Where you have a distinct thing you have to do over your competitor. It's not against them.
Yeah.
It's in isolation for your own activity. You've time to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Time to go, oh, shit. I need
There's
to
a
make this.
significant tactical element to it as well. Like, you know. I can't get over how strong the lockout was in his second attempt.
I don't remember what this 217 was like, but I know he makes it. Jeepus. No doubt about that one.
My God.
No doubt about that one.
Oh my God.
$217 to win on body weight, or was it on total? I don't know. I think
We'll
this
see
was
now
on
in a
body
sec.
weight. 3 lifters hitting 217 to 85s.
My God.
Mad if you put into perspective, Ilya did 216 as a 17-year-old 85 and just dominated it.
Yeah. You are talking about Ilya, I don't know.
Sure am. Lots of Iranian fans there.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Insane.
Rio was far away from a lot of places.
Yeah. Thanks very much for watching. We're always asking everyone to put in their suggestions for classes you want to see or particular competitions you'd like to see. Obviously, in this case, it's one that we've been thinking about doing for a long while, but if you have any of those, drop them down in the comments below.
Brought to you by the Sika Strength Weightlifting Camp and S&C Camp in Portugal in Praia de Luz in May. Details are on the screen and in the description below, and also, of course, brought to you by the Sika Strength app on iOS and Android.